United States is surrounded by two of the largest oceans on our planet. That's why they had to develop a fleet on a level where no one in the world would be able to compete. In today's video, you'll find out why the U.S. Navy can safely be called the strongest in the world. Largest fleet. The United States of America has the largest military fleet in the world, and this is a proven fact. The object of their intense pride, and also their most powerful combat unit, is the aircraft carrier strike groups. There are 11 aircraft carriers and 8 40,000-ton amphibious assault ships capable of carrying up to 20 F-35B or Harrier II fighters with vertical landing capability. Additionally, the U.S. Navy is armed with 22 multi-purpose missile cruisers, more than 70 destroyers, and at least 18 ships of the coastal type. And this is not counting command and patrol ships, floating docks, minesweepers, and auxiliary vessels. This amount of surface technology is simply impressive, and no other country in the world has been able to break this record. But the United States still has something else. Its submarine fleet also stands out, including about 70 submarines, 18 of which are nuclear. These belong to the Ohio class and were developed as the backbone of a strategic offensive nuclear force. Despite such an abundance of technology, American engineers never stop working for even a minute. A brand new guided missile destroyer, Jack H. Lucas, has recently entered service. It was actually built in just 2 years, and noticing its power, the Navy ordered 20 more ships of this type. This year, the U.S. plans to purchase 9 warships, including 1 additional Virginia-class submarine, and is set to allocate $500 million to build an American-class amphibious assault ship. By 2030, the U.S. Navy, according to current plans, will consist of at least 350 warships, even including some unmanned ones. How's that for a good start? The largest ships. America has the largest aircraft carriers in existence at the moment. It's worth starting with the legendary Nimitz-class aircraft carriers, which are the largest warships in the world. The first Nimitz was built on May 3, 1975, and since then, 10 of these vessels have already been built. This series of ships remains the largest in the post-war period today. All Nimitz are designed almost the same. However, starting from the 4th one, they have increased displacement and draft, and an extended period between nuclear reactor fuel refueling. They may also differ in the composition of the aircraft operating off of them, as well as the complex of electronic weapons and the presence of additional equipment. The hull is welded from steel plates, and the main load-bearing structures, including the 1,100-foot-long flight deck, are made of armored steel, protecting the vessel against most types of projectiles. The engine consists of 2 A4G A1W reactors that drive 4 steam turbines with a total maximum power of 280,000 horsepower. There are also emergency engines running on diesel, giving out only 11,000 horsepower, but this is still enough to stay afloat. The ship has more than 4,000 rooms for various purposes, ranging from the intelligence planning headquarters or the dining room to the gym. This way, the staff definitely has something to do in their free time. The Nimitz was also created in order to carry a whole squadron of combat aircraft and the helicopters with a total of up to 80 units. However, the Nimitz is not the last thing America can boast of. Since the beginning of the Sino-Taiwan conflict, the aircraft carrier of the Gerald Ford class, which is the successor to the previous one, has been on combat duty. This is the most powerful warship ever built and is larger than 3 football fields. On board are 90 aircraft for various purposes, such as the previously mentioned F-35 fighter jets, Super Hornet heavy-duty attack aircraft, various bombers, electronic countermeasures aircraft, and even combat helicopters. This is a full-blown independent operating force, which stays on alert 24/7 and is always ready to fight. Powerful weapons. Although aircraft carriers are impressive in their size, even they would be weak if they weren't covered by powerful weapons. At the very top of the hierarchy are the destroyers of the Zumwalt type. In total, The U.S. Navy has ordered 3 such ships, and all of them have already been built. This is the most powerful destroyer of our time, created using stealth technology and carrying up to 80 cruise missiles as tactical strike weapons, each of which is capable of destroying an entire fortified enemy base. Meanwhile, the Zumwalt is a ship with a different fate, which is due, among other things, to the lack of specific tasks for it, as well as difficulties in developing new types of weapons. Such a small number of Zumwalts were built due to its high price. The current cost of one destroyer is about $4 billion. Slightly weaker than the Zumwalts are Ticonderoga-class missile cruisers. In total, America has 21 such ships in service. The Ticonderoga became the first U.S. Navy warships to receive the Aegis Combat Control System. This allows one to receive and process information from sensors of other ships and aircraft, as well as provide information about targets to launchers that'll quickly handle both enemy aircraft carriers and ground vehicles with their shells. The United States also has a more interesting ship, the burke-class destroyer, of which more than 60 units were built. Today, it's one of the most advanced destroyers with guided missile weapons, among which there is even a nuclear one. Each burke is armed with up to 56 BGM-109 Tomahawk cruise missiles, with a launch range of up to 1,000 miles. This, by the way, is equal to the distance between New York and Florida. I think you already understand what these ships are capable of, but the upgrades with new technology still haven't stopped. Technology. Even now, the Pentagon is actively discussing the further development of its Navy. In addition to the constant increase in the number of equipment, the U.S. Navy is also relying on the use of the latest weapons systems, intelligent technologies, and data centers for ship control. One of the latest examples is the Stockdale DDG-106 ship, on which the optical dazzling interdictor system was installed. Odin is a medium-power laser system designed to fight drones, something that poses an increasing threat every day. The principle of operation is to blind the drone sensors by pointing a powerful laser beam at it. This allows one to interfere with the operation of the drone, and in some cases even disables it. The Odin is just a test for proof of concept, by the way. At the moment, there's a much more serious installation called LAWS. This system uses a solid-state infrared laser with an adjustable level of shot energy. A 30-kilowatt installation is enough to defend against drones, small vessels, and even enemy missile strikes. At the same time, thanks to the regulation of power, one can choose a mode for both blinding control systems and for causing physical damage to hostile entities. Such protective installations are now on both destroyers and cruisers. But in the near future, they're set to be installed on aircraft carriers as well. And here's one more example of even more interesting technology. One U.S. Army patent describes a hybrid aerospace submarine that is said to be capable of truly incredible speeds and maneuverability in air, water, and outer space, thanks to a revolutionary electromagnetic propulsion system. So far, this sounds like science fiction, but the fact still remains. The United States is already working on such technologies. Professionals in their field. And the last reason why the U.S. Navy is the strongest is, of course, its personnel. America has some of the best craftsmen in the business. Designers create the largest and most powerful ships in the world. Engineers and physicists design the latest weapons and unsurpassed defensive technologies. The testers who test the first prototypes are at constant risk, staff working to ensure that all equipment is always in combat readiness, captains who day and night work out battle tactics in their heads, and of course, the Marines are first-class fighters ready to give their lives to defend their country. This is only a small part of those who do invaluable work every day. America is proud of its people, and it is thanks to their work that the whole world recognizes the U.S. fleet as the strongest in the world. That's all we have for you today. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. And don't forget to leave a comment below. We read everything you all write, so we can continue to provide the best and most interesting content for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.